What's good, y'all? I already know where y'all at. It's your boy Star Jones, and it's a new episode of Star Views. It's about to start right now. So please, I hope you got your hookah ready, and I hope you got your cups full of whatever ready, because I got a lot to talk about, alright? Know what's going on. Star Jones, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Please and thanks, you heard? What's good, folks? It's your man Star Jones, and I'm back with yet another episode of Star Views. And like the last episode, I'm very excited. We're going to be talking about Godzilla vs. Kong, which is the latest installment in the MonsterVerse. And for those who don't know, and my not so nerd people out there, because I'm a nerd, I keep it a bean. But the MonsterVerse is pretty much all the movies where we see these big monsters on the screen. So pretty much we had the Kong film, we had Godzilla that came out back in 2014, Kong came out in 2017, we had Godzilla, King of the Monsters, in 2019. So this is the latest installment, like I said, in this movie franchise. And we're going to see both of these big titans clash. Godzilla, who I've been a fan of, as you know, because I said that in my Chop It Up video at the start of the month. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been a fan of Godzilla since I was a kid, so every movie I run to see it. So this is big. And then the Kong film was pretty good too. That came out back in 2017. So now we get to see them clash and fight for dominance. Who's the big apex predator in this film, and who really runs the show? Who's the man? You know what I'm saying? Who run the block? So, I'm looking forward to actually breaking down the film a little bit and give you guys an overview on the film and tell you what happened and what transpired without giving you spoilers. I don't like ruining movies for you guys. That's why I try to get these videos out as soon as possible. So I give you a little overview and insight on the film before you walk into it and kind of know what to expect. So, you already know how I go here. I hope y'all got your hookah ready. Mine isn't ready. I got to set it up real quick. And once I come back, we're going to dive right into it. We're going to chop it up and see what really went down with these two on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? So, we're going to get right to it in a minute. I'll be back in a second. So, we back, folks. I had to get my hookah right. So, let's dive right into the film. So, pretty much Godzilla vs. Kong is the fourth installment, as I just mentioned, in the MonsterVerse, and pretty much is starring Millie Bobby Brown. That's shorty from Stranger Things. Shout out to all my Stranger Things watchers out there. That's one of the best shows on Netflix. Then we got Brian Tyree Henry. He's a son from Atlanta, excuse me. The show's called Atlanta, and that's on FX. And you got Fat Boy from Deadpool. The one that had the fire hands. I forget his character's name in the movie. But pretty much those are a couple characters that you guys should be familiar with in the film. So let's get straight into it. So pretty much the film picks up with Kong on Skull Island, the same place we last seen him in the film that came out in 2017. And pretty much Monarch, which is a scientific organization that monitors titans. Any big monster on the planet, they kind of keep an eye on them to make sure that they don't do anything that's detrimental to the human race. So they're pretty much monitoring Kong on his home island, and they're aware that Godzilla is the king of all monsters, and Godzilla's role in the MonsterVerse is he's pretty much the protector of Earth, the humans, things of that nature. So anytime there's a threat or a titan that's doing something they got no business doing, Godzilla pretty much G-checks them. He runs down on them and be like, yo bro, you're not sanctioned. You know what I'm saying? You're not valid. You know what I'm saying? Where's your hood pass? So Godzilla does that in every movie. If you watch the prequels prior to this film, you'll notice that. So Godzilla is unaware of Kong and his existence right now. In the movie, they always talk about in the past, in the history, that Kong and Godzilla had beef. They was always fighting one another for dominance and who would be the #1 head honcho, so to speak. So pretty much Monarch, they're stationed on Skull Island monitoring Kong and just kind of keeping a protective eye over him, because again, they don't want Kong to fight Godzilla because they're both huge threats to the planet. Because if they was to get it on, there could be huge consequences for the inhabitants of planet Earth, us, the human race. So they kind of want to keep Kong separated and isolated away from Godzilla, because Godzilla has like this sonar, so to speak, and he can just pick up on a titan whenever he senses them, and he'll immediately run down. He's gonna run down and be like, you're not good. What's your intent? And if they're not bowing down to him, they're gonna get it on. So we have two groups of protagonists in the film. We have the Monarch group, the scientist and Monarch, and this little girl who has this bond with Kong. Like, the little girl is very important to the film because she's able to communicate with him. She's deaf, FYI, too. So she does sign language. So her and Kong has this, like I said, this bond between one another. And Kong has like this big brother protector role when it comes to the little girl. So that's our first group. And then our second group of protagonists in the film is Shorty from Stranger Things and Son from Atlanta. And their role in the film is pretty much, because they like, alright, boom, before I get to that group, the scientists and Monarch are again trying to protect Kong. So they're like, we don't want Kong to interact with Godzilla, so we have to find a way to get him to his homeland. And his homeland is, I guess, lack of better words, the center of Earth. So they work with this group called Apex. Apex is this technological corporation, and who ultimately is our antagonist in the film, our villain, so to speak. So Apex decides, of course they have an ulterior motive. Apex is like, well, Monarch, let's assist you in getting Kong home to the center of the Earth. We can assist. We have the technology. We have the aircrafts. Anything that you need for us to get him to where he has to be, we're gonna help you out. So pretty much, again, their biggest concern is not being detected by Godzilla, because now once that happens, all hell's gonna break loose, and that's that. So now we're introduced to our second group of protagonists, and they're pretty much, they feel like something is wrong, something's not right, because Godzilla in recent events, from the looks of it, is attacking human beings and attacking innocent people, and that's uncharacteristic for him. That's something that he doesn't do. So they're like, something's not right, like something's going on. And one of the people in the second group is Son from the show Atlanta, and he works for the company Apex. So he himself is a conspiracy theorist. So he thinks Apex is doing something they have no business doing. So pretty much the movie follows both groups, the Monarch group and the group that's trying to uncover what Apex is doing. And then in the process, we have Godzilla bumping heads with Kong. And it's very action-packed. I'm not going to give you too much. But that's pretty much the premise of the film. And then again, as the movie progresses, we get to learn what their Apex intent really was. And you're in for some shit, because it's going to be like, wow. And it's always like that in movies. It's always like these big time corporations just sell you on a dream, like, oh, we're doing this for the greater good, we're doing this for the people. But it's always something else. And Apex is guilty of that. They're the epitome of that. Yeah, we're looking out for the human race, but we also want some type of game that's going to benefit us and make us look good in the process. So again, I don't want to give you guys too much, so that's pretty much the overview of the film. And I'm going to be back in 2 seconds to give you my rating, my pros and cons on the film, why you should watch it, why you maybe shouldn't watch it. Yes, yet to be determined. I'm going to let you guys know in 2 seconds. I'm going to smoke some hookah, and I'm going to drink some more of this drink, and I'll be back in 2 seconds, alright? Alright, so we back, folks. So now we're going to get into how I'm going to rate the film, the pros and cons to the film, etc., etc. But before I do that, I want to make it a conversation really quickly of the polls that I put on social media. So I put up a poll on my Facebook and my StarViews Instagram page, and I asked the public, who do you think is going to win between these two big titans? Is it going to be Godzilla or is it going to be Kong? And I'm going to say I'm very disappointed with social media. Only because I'm a Godzilla fan and I was rooting for Godzilla. So, again, I may be biased because, again, I've been a Godzilla fan. I wasn't so much of a Kong fan growing up. But here we have the statistics. Godzilla lost to Kong by a huge discrepancy. Kong was like the unanimous decision by the public. So I just want to put that out there. Very disappointed in every single one of you that voted for Kong. Just because I'm Team Godzilla. But anyway, enough of that. So the pros, I'm going to start with the cons of the film because there wasn't too many cons in the film. I was going to start with pros, but I'm going to go with the cons because there wasn't too many cons in the film. So the movie total elapsed time is 1 hour and about 50 minutes. I feel like the big baddie in the film, because again, I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but the big baddie in the film, I feel like should have got a little bit more screen time. They gave a mild introduction to who the big baddie was. They showed him, and I'm going to say limited capacity. We didn't see the big baddie for that long. And I just feel like they could have gave us a little bit more on the backstory. They touched on it, you know, things like that. But I feel like they could have did more. Like I said, I mentioned the total elapsed time of the film because I feel like if they extended it to maybe 2 hours and 5 minutes, they could have fit in a little bit more of a backstory, like how he came about. They talk about it, but again, I think they could have went in greater detail, like exactly how they came about it, where they got the big baddie from. I think they could have dove in it a lot more in just another maybe 15-20 minutes. Also, the Apex Corporation, they talked about it, but again, there was no mention of Apex, at least not my recollection, because again, I rewatched the entire Monsterverse. I don't recall them really talking about Apex too much. It's always been Monarch, Monarch, Monarch. So, yeah, I think they could have did a little bit better job of just giving us a little bit more on Apex and the backstory, how Apex came about. So, you know, those are the only cons of the film. So as far as the pros are concerned, I think they did an amazing job with the fight sequences between Kong and Godzilla. You know, I want to shout out Godzilla, you know, because he's a big dinosaur, T-Rex looking, you know, titan. So, you know, it was good to see. It was good to see him a little bit nimble. He was moving around and all that. So, you know, everybody thought it was just going to be Kong that had the moves, but Godzilla did a great job. And I think, like I said, it was action-packed. So, like, they didn't waste no time. It was multiple scenes where they was getting it on. So, it was just like, that was something that I think any action movie fan would enjoy thoroughly. I think they also did an amazing job visually. The movie, stunning. It looked amazing. It looked the CGI, sometimes with CGI they do too much and it doesn't look organic or authentic, and sometimes it look a little blotchy. But I think they did a real good job with the CGI. It looked really good. They did a really good job. And it kind of gave you a little anxiety, like, shit, what if this really did happen? What if these monsters really did one day pull up and just wreak havoc on the planet? So I think they did a real good job of that. The little girl in the film I mentioned when I was breaking down the overview, I think she was a key component in the film. The little girl that had the bond with Kong, that was very big because she was like the medium for Kong. She was the, like, Black Widow when she touches the Hulk and he calms down and he goes back to being Bruce Banner. She was the saving grace because she kept him calm, cool, calm, and collected for the most part. I feel like had it not been for the little girl, Kong would have been really bugging the fuck out. Excuse me. Been really wilding out, you know what I'm saying? So I think, and like I said, the actress who played her just did an amazing job, you know. So those are the pros and cons of the film. So with that said, I'm gonna give this film 7 stars, and I give it 7 stars because at the conclusion of watching the film, I wasn't disappointed, you know. And this is no shade on the film. A 7 is a great rating. It's a good rating, solid rating. I didn't, like I said, I didn't walk away from the film disappointed. I actually enjoyed the film, but you know, I guess I could have used a little more. I think if they gave us a little bit more on the big baddie in the film, I would have been a little bit more happy and it made it graded a little bit better. But to the credit of the Monsterverse, this is a consistent grade. After I did my homework and I rewatched all the other films, I think 6 and 7 is a model of consistency because that's how I would have graded the other films also. So I think that's a good thing. Unfortunately, at this time, we have no concrete confirmation on whether or not there will be a sequel. So at this point, we don't have nothing else to look forward to. And I guess if we could just chalk this up as a conclusion to the MonsterVerse until we hear otherwise from Legendary Studios. So again, 7 stars. I definitely advise you guys to check it out. I think you would enjoy it. Yeah, and that's that. The stars views. And that's the conclusion of March. That's everything I've done in March. Look out for my next Chopping It Up session where I'm going to tell you everything that I have in store for the month of April. I can't, off the top of my head right now, I don't know what I have in store for April, but I do have things in store for April. So just, stay in your seats with your seatbelt on, and we're going to keep going. We're going to keep this momentum pushing. And I'm here. I got everything for y'all. So thanks again for your time. I'm Star. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your hookah. And I'm going to finish this drink. Alright? See you soon. Oh, y'all still here? Appreciate y'all for sticking around, man. But I don't got no more hookah. But what I do have is more content on my YouTube channel. So please, if you haven't done so already, hit that red button and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified as soon as I post anything. Alright? And if you haven't already followed me on social media, here's my information. Make sure y'all follow up. Appreciate it. Y'all still here, man. That's valid. Have a good one.